Hello. So the common theme that I got from these three articles was pretty much like the future of the workforce. Millennials will be coming in to a lot of career positions, and it's just kind of interesting to see how the workforce is going to be changing um, due to the way that millennials place value on different things than some of the older generations. And comparing transparency, compensation, I think a lot of employees are wanting to see more transparency just so they know that how they're getting compensated like falls in line with how most people are getting compensated or people in their same field are getting compensated. Um, in my last job, it was a little odd because you were getting paid, or they put your pay, they started your pay at what higher than what you were getting currently paid, like if they recruited you from your previous job. And so it's pretty much, with all those different salaries or base pays that they were getting previously, it's like if you started out at a certain amount, you would get paid more than that, but in that way, it was kind of hard to determine, like, were you getting paid average, were you getting paid below, were you getting paid more for that position than you normally would. And so it was definitely not transparent at all. There was really no way to tell or how to gauge your compensation. In my current company, it's definitely a lot easier to tell or to be, know how to be you're going to be compensated. Pretty much all salary managers start out at the same thing, as well as like the entry level employees, they start out at the same thing, unless there's something like background or education that would possibly get them a little bit higher. But sometimes that's not even the case. Usually entry level starts out roughly the same. And like I said, salary starts out at like a minimum, and then it goes up from there depending on circumstances. And flexibility is definitely something that I place a lot of value on. With that being said, I did have a lot more value, or I did have a lot more flexibility in my previous job than I do in my current one. With my previous one, I worked 40 hours a week, but I was kind of able to set a lot of my own schedule. With the current one, even though I get paid more, I kind of, gave up flexibility for compensation, but I do work like anywhere from 45 to 65 hours a week, depending on what's going on. So even though I do place a lot of value on flexibility, ultimately a little bit more compensation won out currently. But I do believe that millennials will be making it a point to have that when, like I said, older generations haven't necessarily made that a requirement for their position. And I do understand the need for more transparency, but I do also see like the company's side of that as well. Like sometimes if there's too much transparency, it's harder for them to compensate how they feel is necessary. So it's kind of overall maybe needs like more of a balance. I do see the work field changing and having to adapt to new concepts and new values. I don't think that every company is going to be Google status anytime soon, where you can take naps and kind of refresh, or so you're able to be more creative. But I do see the workforce becoming overall more flexible. So yeah, that's all I got.